Hi guys, welcome to Algebra Online. Today we are still studying slope, but we're looking at it in a different way. We are going to find the slope and we're only given 2 points. Okay, so since we've been talking about slope for quite some time now, let's go ahead and write down the different ways that we have been expressing slope. So we talked about slope so far as rise over run, right? We have talked about it as the change in y over the change in x. Now we have wrote that as delta y over delta x. We've also talked about slope is how the pattern is growing. All right, so now we're going to take a look at a formula for slope that will help us find the slope if we're not given the graph. And we have 2 points. Okay, so what you've noticed or what you notice right now is that I did give you the graph to start off with. I want to show you something. So let's take a look at this point right here. This point is a -4 plus 1, which is here. And this point is over 3 to the right 3 and up 4, so that is the point 3, 4. Now, if we were given the graph, you guys are really good at this. You could use your rise over run skills to say, we're going to go up a +3, and then we're going to go to the right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And so the slope of this line would be 3 over 7. And so what if I didn't give you the graph? What if instead I just gave you these 2 points? Now you could make a little graph and then plot them both and then count rise over run, but that would take a long time. There is actually a faster way that we can do this, and it's by using a slope formula. And it is y sub 2, a little 2 to the right, minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 subtract x sub 1. And so that little sub 2 or sub 1, that just indicates the first y or the second y. See, if you take a look at our coordinate point, isn't this x and y? And this one is also an x and a y. But this one is the first y, so we want to call it x sub 1 and x sub 2. And this is y, oh, not sub 2, silly, sorry. It is the first y, so y sub 1. Okay. And then that x is the second x, and this is the second y. So it just is really in order from left to right, x, y, x, y. These are the first ones listed. These are the second ones listed. And so then we can simply take what it is. So like in our formula, y2, well, y2 is 4. So we can take that value and plug it into our formula and then calculate. So let's do that. So our y2 is 4 minus our y1 is 1, so 1's going to go here, over x2 is 3 minus our x1 is a -4. And this is just where sometimes it gets tricky, that you have to remember that there is a subtraction sign, and then if it's a negative, we also have to write that down. So now we can just simply calculate the numerator. 4 minus 1 is 3. And because we have 2 negatives, a negative times a negative is a positive, and now in our denominator it is a 7, 3 plus 4, and you notice we were able to get the same slope by using that formula. All right, so that's what we're doing today. We're going to practice this formula over and over until you got it right. So let's go ahead and take a look at another example. All right, so the first thing I want you to do is x1, y1, x2, y2, and let's write down the formula. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Our y2 is 8 minus our y1 is 2 over x2 is 6 minus our x1 is 1. 8 minus 2 gives us 6 over 6 minus 1 is 5, and it looks like our slope is 6 over 5. All right, now if I just happen to go too fast, then you have the ability to slow me down, right? You can just pause me, replay back over again, press play, listen to it over and over again until you got it. All right, let's do it again. So we're going to write x1, y1, x2, y2, and we have y2 minus y1, which is our formula for slope, over x2 minus x1. All right, our y2 is negative 10. We're going to subtract our y1, which is 2, over x2 is 9, minus our x1 is 8. And in our numerator, a negative 10 minus 2, that is a negative 12. Over 9 minus 8 is a positive 1. So our final slope is a negative 12. All right, now if you're starting to be like, okay, I want to try this on my own, press pause. Press pause on this video, try this one on your own, and then press play when you are ready. All right, so we had x1, y1, x2, y2, and we have y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and our y2 is 6, minus our y1 is 4, over x2 is 0, and there is a subtraction in our formula, and the x1 is a negative 3, which means now 6 minus 4 is a positive 2, over 2 negatives. Negative times negative is a positive, and that is just going to be 0 plus 3, so our slope is 2/3. How'd you do? All right, so also please remember, if you start to feel like, wait a minute, I didn't get this and I don't know why, zoom into my classroom the last 15 minutes of class, right? You should be watching these videos that I create, trying the problems on your own, and then coming to Zoom and saying, hey, I got this wrong, or I don't know, and that's good strategies and how to be get a really good grade in math. Okay, let's keep going. So we have x2 minus, not x2. I got excited, didn't I? Okay, x1. So x1 and a y1 and an x2 and a y2. And our formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And our y2 is 9 minus our y1, which is 6, over x2 is 3, subtract our x1, which is 18. So 9 minus 6 is 3, and 3 minus 18 is going to give us a negative 15. And we can simplify this fraction, right? 3 can go into 15 5 times. So we would divide the numerator and the denominator by 3. And so we would have a negative 1 over 5. And remember, that negative doesn't matter where it goes. It can stay with the 5. It can go out front. It doesn't matter as long as there's only 1. And there you go. Okay, guys, very last example for this video. I'd like you to pause this one again, try it on your own, simplify your fraction, and press play when you're ready. Okay, so let's do this. Did you do x1, y1, x2, y2? Good. And our formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And we have a negative 7 minus a negative 11 over 6 minus 18. So we have a negative times negative is a positive, and we have negative 7 plus 11, which is 4, over 6 minus 18, that's a negative 12. And I can simplify this fraction to say that it is 4 goes into 12 3 times, so it is a negative 1/3 slope. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's lesson, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Bye.